Let's see, let's look at 5. Let's see if I can do it without looking at the stuff. I'm not looking. I really am not looking. I'm just looking for everything else but that. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, company uses the direct write-off method. So instead of going to allowance, they go to the which is allowance for doubtful accounts, which is a balance sheet account. They're going to go directly to the expense account. All right. So knowing that, let's see where we go. Dexter determines that it cannot collect 8,300 of its accounts receivable from Lear Company. Okay, so same thing. We got our date, we got our accounts, we got a debit, and we have a credit. Okay, make that a little bigger. Date is 3/11. Now, bad debt has a normal debit balance, so we know that this is going to be bad debt. It'll follow the same logic actually as allowances in terms of what goes first, and then this is going to be AR Lear Company. Okay, so $8,300 is going to come here, and 8,300 is going to come here. Now, Lear Company unexpectedly pays its account in full to Dexter Company. Dexter records its recovery of this bad debt. So on 3/29, we're going to reverse out this former entry, so 8,300, and we're going to go bad debt of 8,300, and then, I mean, this is one way. This is probably the long way, but just to make it painfully obvious what we're doing, and then you would have an AR Lear Company cash, this on the top one, and credit for accounts receivable. Now, if it were me, I probably would have just skipped this part. I would have just gone, I would have done something a little bit differently. This is option A. Option B would have been something more like this. Let's just take this, copy it over here. Option B, some companies will just go, what is it, 3/29. Those go, I got my cash, oops, cash of 8,300, and I'm going to pull it back out of bad debt, 8,300. So let's see what the book shows you on how to do that, because sometimes they'll put it back into accounts receivable because they have a ledger for accounts receivable. They actually want to show the payment of the invoice in their ledger, in their accounts receivable ledger. So even though this seems like a nice shortcut, it probably isn't the most effective in terms of keeping record of what has actually happened. And so this would put the money back into the ledger, or essentially reset up the invoice, and then you would have the payment against the invoice. So you could track that in the accounts receivable ledger. And voila, that's what they did. Okay. Write it off, bring it back, or reverse the write-off, and then actually show the payment.